stand flat. Long before you take this cowboy's hat.
Pull up a chair, folks. We're headed back to the early 80s when a Wyoming bronc rider named Chris LeDoux's was easing out of the chutes and into the studio. The song is "This Cowboy's Hat," and the spark came from a rodeo buddy of Chris's named Jake Brooks. Brooks put pen to paper on a tale that starts in a coffee shop. Quiet morning, steam off the cup, and turns into a full-on defense of a man's life, told through the brim on his head. Now here's the timeline. In 1982, Chris cut the song for his self-released album, Used to Want to Be a Cowboy. That's before the majors ever came calling. He was selling records out of the back of a pickup and through mail order, same as always, and this one sat there like a coiled rope, ready. The hat story traveled fast among rodeo folks because it sounded like them. Plain talk, no puff, and a little steel in the spine. Meanwhile, Nashville caught wind, through a different door. Porter, Wagoner, Rhinestones and all took Jake Brooks's tune into the mainstream in 1983. It hit Billboard's country chart on March 5th, worked its way up, and peaked at number 35 the week of April 23, 1983. That was Porter's last top 40 entry. So if you're keeping score at home, LeDoux recorded it first in '82. Porter scored the first radio hit with it in '83. Two trails, same corral. What makes the song bite isn't just the hat, it's what's stitched into it. In the lyric, a biker crowd pokes at a cowboy, threatens to snatch that hat, and the cowboy answers with a ledger of his life. Family, loss, work, pride, a folded flag. That's Jake Brooks writing like a man who's seen gravel roads at sunrise. Chris recognized it right off. He'd lived enough arenas and motel ice machines to know the difference between costumes and clothes. When he cut it, he didn't sweeten much, just told it like a brand inspector reading a certificate. Now jump to July 22, 1991. Chris signs with Liberty Records, steps into Masterphonics in Nashville, and re-records This Cowboy's Hat for his major label debut, Western Underground. Same story, cleaner glass. That version goes out as a single later in '91 and climbs to number 63. Not a blockbuster, but it didn't need to be. On stage, when the band dropped to a hush and Chris started, "Well, I was sitting at a coffee shop," crowds leaned in like church. The hat speech stitched his indie years to the big time. The ripple effects are easy to trace. In the late '80s, Garth Brooks name-checked Chris in Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old, kicking open the big city doors for a real-deal rodeo hand. By the early '90s, Liberty let Chris bring his road crew and rough edges, and This Cowboy's Hat became the set piece. Proof a story song can work like a brand on hot iron. Decades later, the track still finds fresh ears. The catalog versions keep streaming, louder than ever, and the tune even earned fresh hardware in the 2020s thanks to those long legs. Now, a quick word where stories sometimes tangle. Some discographies say Porter Wagoner recorded it first because they're looking at radio charts. Others point out Chris's 1982 cut predates Porter's single by a year. Best reading? Brooks wrote it early in the '80s. Chris first recorded and released it in 1982 on his own album. Porter took it to national radio in 1983. Chris recut it in 1991 when Liberty put a bigger mic in front of him. That's the cleanest trail through the sagebrush. Why's it endure? Because the punchline isn't a punch, it's respect. The biker doesn't get whipped, he gets quiet. The hat becomes a ledger of miles, not a trophy. That's cowboy as a code, not a costume, and Chris sings it with that dry Wyoming wind in his voice. If you've ever waited in a studio hallway or a sale barn cafeteria, you know that tone. So that's the story behind This Cowboy's Hat. A Jake Brooks narrative born out where the pickup dust hangs, first carried on a homegrown record in 1982, pushed onto the charts by Porter in '83, then tightened up and reintroduced by Chris on July 22, 1991. One song, 3 mileposts, and a brim that still throws shade over cheap talk. Tip your hat when you hear it, y'all. There's a whole life under there.